Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me. Wherever you are joining me, rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like and subscribe. 2,500 strong. I'd like to get to 3,000 before we get to May. That is the goal. 3,000 before we get to May. So all of you people who listen every morning, but you have not decided to subscribe to the channel yet, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Look, I know that this comes on Twitter and I know that this comes on Facebook, but if you really want to show support, if you really want to look out for your boy, the way to do so is to follow the YouTube page. So please go over to YouTube. I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a link in the comments. Go over to YouTube, follow the YouTube page. I would really appreciate it. Again, the new goal, 3,000 by May 1st. I know we can do it because I know you're watching, and I appreciate the fact that you're watching. You know what else I appreciate? I appreciate somebody that knows how to get it done when it matters. Somebody who knows how to rise to the occasion when it actually matters. Like I think the one thing we don't talk enough about is that it's easy to do things when there is no pressure, right? It's easy to do things. It's easy to perform when the pressure is minimum. It's easy to perform when nobody is expecting something from you. Happy Friday, by the way. I'm looking forward to the weekend, not because I have anything planned, just because I'm looking forward to the weekend. So within that, the idea that everybody has a capacity to perform, right? Whatever that task might be, everybody has a capacity to perform. And one of the things that we know is that some people perform better than others. Some people, when the lights are the brightest, that's when they shine the most. This is not it's not coincidence. Some people are just built that when the eyes are on them, when the odds are stacked against them, or when the pressure is the highest, they don't get too flustered. They don't get too far gone. That is not something that is intrinsic in everybody. Like, not everybody has that. I'd love to tell you that was true and that everybody has the capacity to perform under pressure, that everybody has the capacity to exist or to operate in that space, but it's just not the truth. The truth is that so many of us clam up. We the moment gets too big for us. We get overwhelmed whenever stuff like that happens. And it's not a diss, by the way. This is not a diss. This is an acknowledgement that we are different, because what I do believe is that everybody has something that they possibly could perform at a high level doing, but that just may not be one of them. And unfortunately, that's an assistive trait that usually has to come with something else. So that's why it works in all walks of life. If you're a school administrator, but you don't know, you don't do well during testing because things get hectic, or if a fight breaks out, your anxiety level goes through the roof. And then you're probably not going to be that good at it, right? If you're a coach or a player in a sporting event, whatever that sporting event is, when the game is close, and when the clock is running down, or when your back's against it, what do you do? How do you perform? How do you rise to the occasion? Can you rise to the occasion? Can you chill? Can you keep your cool? Can you understand the moment and not let it get too big for you? There are some that can, and then there are some that cannot. And that's why we have levels. There's levels to this. You've heard that saying before, that there's levels to this. Well, that's why there's levels. It's because some people can and some people cannot. The question is, can you? I asked this because last night I'm watching the Lakers play, and for whatever reason, other than the fact that the season's over with and they're not going to make the playoffs, LeBron's not playing, and AD's not playing, and Russell Westbrook's not playing, and Carmelo Anthony's not playing. 4 guys that we know that when the pressure is on, they can elevate, right? We know that those guys can elevate at that time. And good morning out there, Stacey Rubin. Happy Friday. We know that those 4 guys, when the pressure's on, when the stakes are high, we know that they're not afraid to perform. But the funny part is they're not playing, and all of a sudden, Talen Horton-Tucker, THT, looks like a budding superstar. This game means nothing. Not even the THT. This game means nothing. Now they lose, but it's not like they got the doors blown off them. It was a game, and he put up, I think, probably the best scoring night of his NBA career. And I'm sitting there watching it, and my point, I'm going, man, where was this? The other night when they were on the cusp of elimination, and they needed a game versus Phoenix. Where was he? Where was this performance then? How about all season when they've had guys out and he comes in to play his role off the bench? Where is this explosion? Where is this out? I'm not trying to diss him. I'm trying to understand whether or not he has that gene. Is he a guy who can just be good when there's no expectations? Is he a guy that can just be good when there's no pressure? Or can he be a guy? Because the Lakers need guys. The Lakers need guys. They need ball players. And right now, they have a bench where there are a few guys who they know they can depend on, and then some others. And we need to know, well, not we, I mean, as a fan, I'd like to know, but really the Lakers need to know if THT is just a dude, or if he's a guy who can actually be relied upon for legitimate quality minutes, night in and night out. Can he bring something to the table night in, night out that helps the team be better? How many times have you asked that about something that you do in your life, in your career? Hey, you work at a bank. Oh, such and such, they're good. They're good on the non-peak hours. But as soon as we get busy, How about your favorite bartender? Is your favorite bartender somebody that's super cool when it's like there's nobody at the bar, but as soon as the bar is packed, they look like they're about to lose their mind? They don't continue to have that same level of cool. In the business, they call it being in the weeds. People who normally get in the weeds on a regular basis are people who don't have that gene. They're people who don't have that ability. You're a coach on a team, and when things are going great, you're great. But the moment the pressure gets on, you don't know how to respond. You don't know how to communicate. Your players get nervous, you get nervous. Maybe you don't have that gene. See, it's something that makes people special. My brother, shout out to Shimmy and Clemens. My brother believes that the reason we don't really get rattled like that is something in the blood. Like he was like, my heart rate doesn't fluctuate. Like I think our heart rates are a little bit higher, a little bit elevated regularly, right? But I think because of that, it doesn't raise up to an elevated level when things we've just always been that way. We're not really with the panic. Not to be for anything, he's a firefighter paramedic. So that's a great trait to have in that profession. But I bet he knows a lot of guys that when the blood starts flying or when some limbs are messed up or you run up on a burning building, I'm sure he knows some people like that. Because that's not built for everybody. It's not. And I wonder sometimes when I watch some of these sporting events and you see the random person off the bench all of a sudden explode for a giant game, and you wonder, well, why can't they do that every night? Well, here's the answer. They can't because they're not built that way. When it's needed, when it's meaningful, and not meaningful to them individually, but meaningful to the team, meaningful to the outcome of some type of mission, they don't have the ability to do it. But when there's no pressure, when there's no expectations, that's when they can shine. And that's unfortunate. Because unless you do a job that is results based, but not time or not deadline based, you're probably never going to be in those positions, right? So like an artist, you can be that kind of person because you produce your art at your own rate. To a certain extent, maybe a writer would be the same way. But those jobs where you have to get this done by this time and it has to be at this level and this production and your promotion relies on that. Like if you can't get to that level, you're going to struggle. Now, I think that when we're talking about this, like with everything else, there's levels of it. Not everybody is at 0 or at 10. Some people might be 5. Some people might be 8. Some people might be 3. But wherever you are, knowing where you are could help you. And definitely if you understand that other people are not there, then you know to not rely on them. And that can be big as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.